Hey guys, JB here from Alpha Wolf Consulting, coming to you today with the Alpha Wolf Becoming a Master at Sales program. So, this is a 12-month program that I've put together, and it's a coaching and mentorship program where I'm going to help you master sales. I'm going to help you become all you can be in sales. So, what does that mean when I say becoming all you can be in sales? Well, understanding some of the crucial elements or aspects of sales. So things like understanding how to communicate subconsciously, as 90% of our communication is subconscious. It's not the words we say or sort of how we say our words. So it's everything from our tonality, so different vocalizations or shifts in tonal frequency can imply different meaning, can convey different messages. Our body language, our facial expressions, our hands, everything like that. So I put this together because I have a very deep passion about sales, and I am very, very fond of aspiring sales agents who want to become million-dollar agents, who want to set themselves up and set up their career for the rest of their life. I've been in every stage of sales, from being a novice with no idea what I was doing and stressing over everything, to reaching million-dollar status in multiple businesses, multiple roles. In about 3 months, it takes me to reach a portfolio size of clients at around $3 to $4 million. So it's not a difficult thing. There are a few key aspects that you need to understand to be able to consistently reach high levels within your career as a sales agent, as a sales gun, as a sales superstar. However you want to see yourself, I see myself as a master of sales because I spent 20,000 hours just understanding the basics of sales so that I was able to consistently deliver on my ability to communicate effectively, but to be able to see the buyers, to be able to see their needs, to be able to see the opportunities that other people didn't see. And that's the important thing that I'm going to teach you in this program, but I'm also going to give you some very, very important things. So there's the two aspects of sales. So the first aspect is the conscious aspect, our technical abilities, our ability to understand how to overcome objections, our ability to understand how to present ourselves. How do I build a personal brand? How do I build and create a persona or an idea of who the who the ideal buyer, like what is congruent within their mind for what they expect in terms of a sales agent in this field, whatever field you're in, whatever industry you're in. If you're in finance, it's going to be completely different to if you're in building. So what we're doing is we're aligning the identity of who the client perceives the expert to be, and then we're curating and crafting your identity or your persona professionally to be that, so that we're able to align to their expectations. So there's important aspects of sales that we'll go through, and I have a 10-hour sales course on it. But there's a lot more information that we're going to cover. But just simple things like understanding the introduction to different forms or different ways of communicating. So body language, how do I utilize body language to affect my tonalities? How do I use my tonalities to affect the emotional state of a buyer? Okay, and understanding these sort of things. How do I construct language patterns so that I sound sexy, so that I sound proficient, so that I sound like an expert? So an important thing is in body language, the movement of the body will change the tonality frequencies because our tones are aligned to our body movement. So it's very important to understand this, because the more we understand this, the easier it is to cue our brain to understanding What is being asked of it? What am I trying to do? So through thousands and thousands of repetitions, I am going to help you reach the level that I reached in my professional career, to where I could come into any industry, any field, and not know anything prior to it, and within 30 days be highly proficient at it. Okay, so it's very important to understand this, but other things like overcoming objections. We get objections time and time and time again. And how do you overcome an objection? Many people think that you do it through convincing and forcing. With everything that I reached within my career, I did not convince, I did not force, I did not try to find sales. I saw the ideal buyer, I understood their psychological profile of who they were, and then I assessed every potential buyer based on that profile. And when I found a potential buyer that aligned with that profile of who I was looking for, I would construct the right language patterns to be able to align to their interests, to be able to understand their wants and needs. I would be able to find buyers and then elevate them into customers. That's what we're trying to do when we're a sales agent for a business, for a company. We're not trying to get sales. Sales is transactional. We don't want transactional, because transactional doesn't build trust, and you can't get referrals off a transaction. It's that simple. But a customer or a client, you can get infinite referrals off. Why? Because there are two different ways in which we treat and engage with those buyers. So an important trick or tool that I use is I create the perception that I have known this person for 10 years and I will know them for the next 10 years. And the way in which I speak to them is as someone who does know them intrinsically and who understands that it's going to be a long relationship moving forward. This allows me to alter and shift the perception of how I come across. So what we got to understand, especially in sales, okay, is there are two elements to sales. There is the conscious, the language, the logical, creating the value for the customer, and there is the emotional, the energetic, the feeling, the sensation. So when I'm able to, like I am now, create a presence where I am the dominant expert, my through, and this is just through my tonalities, okay, through my body language, through the positioning of the words and my choice in vocabulary. Okay, so that's the key. What we're trying to do is understand who and how do we talk, and how do I present myself? Do I present myself with my shoulders back or with my shoulders forward, or do I present myself with my shoulders back? Do I open up my lungs? Do you sort of get it? To project out an energetic feel. So when we understand the conscious and the unconscious mind, we're able to access the different ways in which we broadcast and project energetic frequencies or vibrations. Okay, and these vibrations can either make a potential buyer feel calm and at peace, like I'm in the presence of a true expert, or they can make a buyer feel, not dissatisfied, but they can make it feel very chaotic. So if I am talking like this and I don't know my tonalities and I'm not really confident in what I'm doing and my body language and my movements of my hands, my facial expressions, if I say to you, I really care about you, but I have my facial expressions off, what am I broadcasting to my buyer? Do you sort of see the difference? If I align the facial expressions, the tonalities, and the language patterns, I'm able to create an energetic feeling within a potential buyer. So it's very important for us to understand this, because in ourself. Reaching this level of self-mastery requires the internal game of my thoughts and my mindset, creating a mindset of a hunter and a winner, being able to identify who are my ideal clients, who are my target buyers, and then being able to do the emotional game. So have a baseline of emotion and be able to raise it up when I need to and lower it down. So there are many things or aspects of the day-to-day of sales that are going to affect, especially your emotional states. And we call this in sales the internal game, understanding my emotions, my thoughts, and how to hyper focus and block out anything that isn't needed. If I'm making calls, if I'm making sales calls, if I'm looking for buyers, stress and anxiety aren't going to help me find buyers. No, sir. You know what I mean? Being emotionally unstable about whatever's happening in my life is not going to make me find buyers. It's not going to help me find buyers. It's going to make me crash into the volatility of emotions, the volatility of the different things going on in my mind where I lose clarity. So just understand our emotional state, our states of either being disempowered or being empowered will alter and shape how we can think. Okay, so how clearly we think, the clarity that we have, our ability to access knowledge and understanding, and our ability to present and broadcast ourselves. So many people don't understand this in sales, but you are able to, through your heart, energetically feel what someone else is broadcasting by their emotional state. And I can tell you that this is true because you've been around someone who's pissed off before. It creates a level of tension in the air where you can feel it. You feel on edge. This is how the subconscious mind works because the subconscious mind processes thousands upon thousands of more pieces of data than the conscious mind. So that person may be saying, no, I'm fine, I'm not upset, I'm happy. But my subconscious mind understands that there's incongruency between their facial expressions, body language, and tonality, and their positioning and their energetic field and their words. This disconnect causes incongruency with my belief in what they're saying. Now, when we understand this in sales, if I'm not confident in the product I'm selling, if I'm not confident in the process, if I'm not confident in my abilities, if I'm not confident that I'm an expert, I am creating this disassociation or this disalignment to where people may say, I think this guy's a good guy, but I don't trust him. So when we understand that, what we're able to do is we're able to then layer. We layer our body language. We layer our tonality. We layer our facial expressions to create interest. Do you see how I'm raising my eyebrows? I'm creating the frown lines, these broadcasts to someone interest, something new, something exciting. If I just sit there and I close myself off, what happens is I'm creating a level of sort of like basically I'm creating the perception that I am unconfident. I'm not confident in who I am. When I sit up straight, when I'm active, when I'm moving, I am creating an energetic signature to other people that this guy's excited, this guy's energetic, this guy's this guy's that. So this is what I'm going to teach you in this program, in this coaching program or mentorship program, as you want to see it. But basically, I'm going to teach you all of the skills and abilities that only a very few understand. Okay, so most understand subconscious sales or subconscious communication as trying to use subconscious cues to manipulate people. If I get people saying yes and nodding their head, like they're gonna say yes to me because they're nodding. This is just stupid and idiotic. Don't manipulate people. You don't need to. You don't need to use price or lowering price to manipulate people. No. When you come in as the expert, you set the tempo. and you negotiate and work with your buyers to achieve the results that they want through creating the perception of simplicity, the perception of easy, without needing to create chaotic environments. So most people think that to push a buyer forward, I need chaos. I need to threaten them with price. I need to lower my price. I need to raise my blah, 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 blah. It's all illogical. It's all irrelevant. Because if I am perceived in the first couple of seconds as the expert, as the leader in this industry, whatever it may be, if I'm selling, for example, if I'm selling property, I am the most knowledgeable person in property. There might be someone who knows 10 times more than me, who's been doing it for 40 years. But when it comes to this specific buyer, their interests, their needs, I know everything. Why? Because I am hyper focused on them. I'm listening and understanding who is this buyer, what are their needs, what are their desires. And then we get into understanding how to go deeper in sales. So, how do I present value propositions to potential buyers that are deeper than just the shallow? So the shallow level is saying, I'll get you these results, I'll do this, I'll do that. What I'm talking about in this program is I'm going to transform your mindset and teach you how to become the master in sales, a master in sales, how to become your true full potential. What does your true and full potential look to you or look like to you? That is up to you to determine. But what I'm going to do is whatever position you're in now, whatever sort of wherever you are right now, I am going to elevate you over the next 12 months with this program. So it's very important, this program, because I could go on for hours in this, but there is so much in sales that so many people misunderstand, don't understand, and they just limit themselves into, like, for example, if we're selling high ticket products or we're looking for high ticket buyers, okay, that takes a completely different aspect of communication to communicate with them. If all I'm doing is ringing up saying, hey, it's John, blah, 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 buy my product, I'm pushing away those kind of buyers. So we got to be able to hear the tonal shifts or the tonal changes or the language a buyer uses and be able to assign a psychological profile of what kind of a buyer that is to that tonal frequency. So is this a buyer that understands a lot? Is this a buyer that's a tire kicker that has no interest? Like, you can hear a tire kicker, because a tire kicker is going to really try and talk big, talk tough. They know boats, they know this, they know that. Like, you can tell in the way in which someone communicates, if they're communicating openly or if they're communicating closely. So if I'm asking questions that I think I already know the answer to, just so I can show someone I'm better than them, like, do you sort of get it? You can hear that. And when you train yourself or your brain to being able to hear the different variations of your buyer, you're easily able to align in and focus in on that buyer, to be able to align to a new buyer, focus in on that buyer. Okay. And then we get into understanding the motivation and discipline. So sales is not something that's difficult. It's statistics. It's actions. Activity creates activity. The more offers I make, the more potential I have for sales. The more I invest into refining and mastering my craft and my process, the more chances I have of converting buyers into customers. And we always use that language, into a customer, because a customer is a repeat buyer. We don't just want transactions of one-off sales. We want repeat sales. We want that customer to be talking to their friends. So a certain level of service we have to provide to really elevate our perception or our how we are perceived in a buyer's mind into that level where they start referring. So it's very important for this. So this is a 12-month program, and there's two options for it. You can do month to month, or you can do the 12 months. So it's $1,000 per month if you do the month to month payments, and it's $10,000 for the full 12-month program. What you get in the program is you're going to get my Okay. So you're going to get my Alpha Wolf reprogramming your mind and recreating your reality course, which has over 140 hours of specialized lecture, and this dives into understanding the mind. It also has my course on learning and developing. So the different ways in which we learn and develop, my introduction to sales and communication, and then understanding sales funnels. So understanding how to create a sales funnel, how to promote yourself, and things like that. But the real value is understanding the internal. So understanding self-validation, understanding self-belief, understanding how to reprogram your mind through language and through practices that I have created that make it super simple to reprogram your mind in minutes, in days, however you want to see it. Okay. So for some people, doing the practice once is enough. For other people, they have to do the practice again and again and again. And what this is, when I say reprogramming your mind, what I'm talking about is advanced synaptic pathway development practices, developing the links between your conscious and unconscious mind, the synaptic pathways, so that when a situation happens, when an like something happens within my life, when a buyer says a specific thing, bang, it fires a response immediately. And this only happens through conscious focus and intention. Okay, understanding how to intentionally reprogram from a client saying no or a buyer saying no to that no is just a yes in a different format. So then we go into our sort of not triage, but we go into our investigator, understanding why are you saying no? Like, what is it about this product? Is it the price of the product? Is it the um, like is it the program itself? Is it the company? Is it me? Like we're going in and we're diagnosing, not so much to win that client over, but so that we have the information to be able to present more information to them. So whenever someone says no, what we want to do is we want to understand why they're saying no, not to overcome that objection straight away. We can attempt to overcome it, but what happens is usually if someone said no, and then I'm trying to convince them to say yes, I'm creating conflict. So what I want to do is I want to understand why they're saying no. And then in an hour or two, I want to come back to them with the text and say, hey, I know you said no to this, but I was just thinking there's this, and this that really I think you didn't quite understand, and I'd like to talk to you in a bit more detail about it. So we're always positioning ourselves as the expert, and the expert doesn't sit there and try and convince you that they're the expert. They're the expert because they understand your mind. They understand like what's happening within you. So they know to pull back at certain points and then to come back in. So we're gradually overcoming all of the objections. Okay. So it's very important to understand that, but also we don't want to push people into the process. So the reason I reach $1 million status as a sales agent in everything that I do is because I don't look to qualify in, I look to qualify out because my time is very valuable. If I'm able to spend my time on the top 20% of the clients or potential customers, the best ones, and I'm able to limit my time with all of the lower ones, what I'm able to do is I'm able to develop the highest or strongest relationships with the top performing clients or the top potential of clients, and I'm able to limit my time wasted with people who have no interest in being in there. Now, depending on your product or service, okay, if it's a high ticket offer or a high ticket program, like my programs that I offer, like for example, I have a business program that I offer, revolutionizing your revenue, which is a 12, a 24, in a 60-month program. They range from 400,000 plus from the 12-month program to 900,000 plus for the 24-month program to over $3 million for the 60-month program. For those kind of buyers, I don't waste my time on anyone who isn't qualified. So we understand different prices, different products, who we're targeting will determine the different things. If I'm selling a $99 product, I can spend all the time I want, like trying to convince the lower quality market because it's not that big of a buy. Do you sort of get it? But if I'm trying to get someone to spend $400,000 on a 12-month program, like I'm not spending any time with someone who doesn't have the capacity to pay that, but also I'm not spending any time on someone who does not see the value in it. Do you sort of get it? Because by me pushing them away, what I'm actually doing is I'm creating the presence of an expert, that I'm not wasting my time because my time's valuable and your time's valuable. This is what becoming the expert means, is you value your time. You value how a consumer or how a customer or a potential buyer interacts with you. You take control of the situation. Do you sort of get it? Like, for example, with my high ticket programs, my revolutionizing your revenue programs, okay? Like, I'm not convincing people. If they have questions, I will answer those questions, but I'm not asking them to buy, because if they're not willing to purchase without me saying anything, they're not the right kind of a buyer, because these programs are the number one programs in the world. No other company, no other individual offers programs to the level that I offer them to. Do you sort of get it? So we just understand, when I know and value my work, I create authority in my voice. I create authority in my actions and my decision making. Because if I'm offering a low, like if I'm trying to convince someone to spend $400,000 with me, like I'm showing myself as an amateur, someone who doesn't understand sales, who doesn't understand the value of their products or programs. Do you sort of get it? Very important to understand this. This kind of knowledge is what I'm going to instill into you and help you in understanding the internal game. Because the technical skills are easy. They're easy. You've already, if you're working in sales, you've already got a sales process. You've already got your script. You've already got your ways of doing things. But have you got the internal? Have you got the mindset? Have you got the ability to create presence, to create excitement? Do you see the micro expressions that I'm doing, the quick and sharp movements? What they do is they draw and hold someone's attention. So it's very important to understand this, because this is the value that I'm giving you, is understanding how to reach the highest level. And P.S., this program is a highly exclusive program where I have 5 spots available. I understand how much of an investment it will take to achieve within you what I seek to achieve. So I am going to invest more than any other person will in any other sales program. Do you sort of get it? Like you get exclusive access to me. So if you need answers, if you have questions you need answered, like you've got a direct line to me. I will stop what I'm doing and pick up the phone and answer your questions. I will help you. In our one-on-one sessions, I'm going to be helping you refine not only your knowledge and conceptual understanding of different forms of sales, but in understanding how you're being perceived. Because once you understand how you're being perceived by buyers, you now have the control to create reality. Because reality is the perception of reality. So just understand that. Okay. So it's very important to understand that this program is a highly exclusive program that is designed for a very specific few, those who seek to become the top 1% in their industry, in their company, in the world. Like, I didn't go into sales trying to be the best in my company. I wanted to be the best in the world. Do you sort of get it? And I became one of the highest performers in everything that I did. The only downside is what I realized was what you will realize, and the final aspect of this offer is that the majority of people rip you off in sales. You don't get paid what you're worth. You don't earn what you want to earn. And this is the last and final exclusive aspect of this offer. I give you access to being able to promote and sell my programs and products, okay, for a high commission. I typically pay 20% commission. So if you think about that, if we've got $400,000, I'll do some quick math for you. So if we've got a program that ranges from $400,000, what that's going to be is, one second, around $80,000. Do you sort of get it? It's very important to understand this. Part of the reason I invest so heavily into you is because I can't find people with the skills I need. So I have to create them. Hence this program. I am creating a funnel of high performing top 1%ers in this world in sales, marketing, and communication to help me build my company. Do you sort of get it? That's the exclusive aspect of this program, is that I'm not only just giving you the skills, I will show you how to turn those skills into $1 million funnels, into $1 million ideas, or $1 million execution of ideas. Do you sort of get it? So while you may be working at a company right now, this program is where I give you the ability to become limitless. When I say become your true full potential, I mean no roadblocks or challenges will ever bother you while I'm around. Do you sort of get it? Because there is no limit or challenge. Because, for example, my prices in my programs are the highest in the industry for the world. My programs are 10 to 20 times the size and scope of what any other team or company can do, and I do it alone. Do you sort of get it? Very important to understand this, because this is what I mean by becoming your true full potential is I will give you the abilities that I have, the ability to become the smartest in the world. You know what I mean? Not because you have the highest intellect, but because you have aptitude. You have understanding across a large amount of topics. Do you sort of get it? All right. Well, if this interests you, it's a 12-month program. And basically, like I mentioned, okay, it's $1,000 a month if you want to do it monthly and pay monthly. And it's $10,000 if you wanted to just buy the annual pass. And then after the 12-month program, what we do throughout the 12 months, if you're inclined to entrepreneurship, if you're inclined to leveraging your connections, your network, I will teach you how to set up sales funnels, how to build brand, how to brand and market yourself online, how to build audiences, how to create content. And I will teach you how to become, like me, a high performer across multi dimensions of industry, of life. And basically, I will give you the opportunity to generate as much money as you want for yourself. Do you sort of get it? That's the thing. So it's very important to understand this, because once you understand this, you start to see the true value of this program. All right. Have an amazing day, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks so much. Bye.